Down goes Bayleaf Blink, and you might miss it as Machamp deletes Bastiodon in the blink of an eye. Welcome back to the channel. Today the leagues are rotating, so this will be my final upload for the Open Great League. However, Ultra League is without a doubt where I shine. I've probably got the biggest collection of Shadow Pokemon out of any content creator out there. Life as a small content creator is brutal, especially at the start of a GBL season. All the big channels post multiple times a day, and us little guys get forgotten, getting hardly any views. At the moment, my views are absolutely dreadful. However, if today's video hits 500 likes, I'm going to showcase some content in the Open Ultra League that I doubt anyone else can put out there. I've got a level 50.5 Shadow Hitmonchan that will Elite TM to give it Brick Break. I've also got a level 51 Shadow Quagsire that currently doesn't have Aqua Tail. If we get 500 likes on this video, I'm going to Elite TM both and bring you them showcases next week. But that's enough about the future, let's talk about today's video. In the early seasons of GBL, Machamp was a top tier contender in every league. Great, Ultra League, Master League, things have changed a lot. Machamp fell down the pecking order. However, this season, Cross Chop got buffed. So today we're going to see, is it back to being a contender once again? Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, my good friend, who I haven't featured in a while, the king of entertainment Ty, leads his Shadow Feraligatr into Mantine, the battle of the water types. With ABB weak to flying, so this is exactly where Ty wants to see it. We tank the Aerial Ace, we stand in the damage, Ty then farms up, throws the Crunch on the CMP, Ty Crunch, hits for neutral and gets Mantine down to around a third health. Ty's going to invest the Protect Shield on this low health Feraligatr, and the opponent, like an absolute savage, bait us with the Bubble Beam. Ty then looks to reset his debuff, pivoting out into XL Bayleaf. The opponent fire off the Aerial Ace, we withstand the damage, and then they send out Obstagoon. Bayleaf gonna fire off the Energy Ball. This is gonna land for some heavy neutral damage. The opponent actually petrified of Shadow Bayleaf, invest their final Protect Shield, and my god, is it Shadow Machamp time. Hopefully this opponent's running a full Dark moveset. Ty tanks the first move. The opponent's also running buffed Cross Chop. Machamp withstands the damage of the first. Ty's going to be forced to shield up the second. However, we are going to get a very nice counter farm down. Flying, of course, does resist fighting. However, they send back out Mantine. Mantine is going to get farmed down. Shadow Machamp doesn't give a crap about typings. Able to muscle its way through so many matchups it shouldn't. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shadow Wish Daddy Cash. The opponent tanks the first Cross Chop. The second Cross Chop will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We then go for the Wham, Bam, combo play, serving up the Big Mac and the fries. And Hydro Cannon is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Ty picks up a tricky lead in the next battle. Our Shadow Claws are resisted due to the Dark typing. We do have access to Ice Beam that we would get after 7 Shadow Claws. We're not running it, but Ty looking to fake it till he makes it, force a Protect Shield, and then we aggressively send out Machamp. Machamp can tank any one move, but really doesn't tank hits well. The opponent fire off the Dragon Claw, doing half our health, and then send out the Ohm Feraligatr. Ty looking to reach the back-to-back Cross Chops. Can we get there before we get farmed down? The first Cross Chop goes unshielded. Get that Feraligatr out of here. Holy cow, Machamp. Let's go. Buffed Cross Chop coming in clutch. I honestly was not expecting that to knock out, but it did. The opponent's final Pokemon is Lantern, and my god, do we have some Lantern answer in the form of our Bayleaf. Unlike Shadow Machamp, Bayleaf very, very bulky. That Thunderbolt actually did a lot less than I was expecting. Ty continuing to farm up energy, which is the correct play, as we need to start chucking some Ancient Powers at the returning Guzzlord. Ty shields up the Thunderbolt. Back out comes Guzzlord, and Guzzlord is greeted with our Rock-type coverage. The first Ancient Power lands. The second one will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and I have no doubt that Ty is going to pivot out into Feraligatr, shield up whatever the opponent throws. Reach the Hydro Cannon, and that should pretty much seal the deal. Lantern is still alive. However, they're not going to be able to spark, farm us down, reach a move against Bayleaf, so Ty is going to pick up the dub. GG's. In the next battle, we see the battle of the buffed Pokemon, Shadow Feraligatr into Goodra. Of course, our Ice Beam would be one-shotting them, and likewise, their access to Power Whip would also one-shot us. Ty doesn't even look to bait the Ice Beam this time, just looks to get off some very solid chip damage with the resisted Hydro Cannon. We then attempt to catch a Power Whip onto Bayleaf. Does the opponent full send it? Yes, they do. What a play. The opponent answers our Bayleaf safe switch with Empoleon. The opponent, not wanting to tank a charge move, opt to go for the Drill Peck immediately. Drill Peck secures the knockout, and once again it is Machamp time. Machamp deletes the Penguin in the blink of an eye. The opponent unable to withstand more than 5 counters. Back out comes Goodra. Goodra also gets farmed down. Machamp just muscling its way through everything. The opponent's final Pokemon is a 2-shield Feraligatr, but Feraligatr very quickly going to be giving up them Protect Shields with the 2 incoming Cross Chops. The second Cross Chop, of course, does go shielded. We'll then pivot back out into our own Gator, and this is just game over. Ty still has 2 Protect Shields. I'll be honest, I've got no idea why Ty isn't just throwing the crunch. I guess he's just playing with his food. Ty loves to BM his opponents at any given opportunity, and this is a prime example. We're going to shield up both Hydro Cannons, return fire with our own Hydro Cannon, Shadow on Shadow Crime. That is going to secure the dub. GG's. In the next battle, we see Shadow Feraligatr into Skarmory. Feraligatr very advantageous in this matchup as our Shadow Claws are hitting for neutral, whereas their Steel Wings are resisted. Ty farms up, throws the Hydro Cannon on the CMP Ty. Hydro Cannon goes unshielded and does some very solid chip damage. Hydro Cannon is just such a busted move. Ty shields up the incoming Sky attack. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, pivot out into Poliwrath. Ty farms up to the double Hydro Cannon. I imagine we look to chip and dip with the first, bank the second, then send out Bayleef. That's exactly what we see happen. Hopefully Bayleef can get the farm down before the second Icy Wind. This is going to be close. Can Bayleef get the Magical Leaf farm down? Oof, the opponent survives quite literally on 1 HP and a Dream. Icy Wind does secure the knockout. We've got energy on Feraligatr. We can send out Machamp, get a 1 count, a running start. And if I had to guess what's in the back, I'm going to call Whiscash. And if you wonder why I know that, it's because it's the most basic bitch core you could possibly think of. Skarmory Whiscash. People loved it last season and they're still loving it this season. Machamp farms up, throws the Cross Chop on the CMP Ty. Of course, Cross Chop goes shielded. Ty shields up the Scald. The opponent fish for the attack drop. They don't get it. Ty again looks to farm up, throw on the CMP. The opponent actually didn't throw on the CMP Ty. Cross Chop forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Ty then, like a savage, is going to snipe Whiscash with the Hydro Cannon. Get that Whiscash out of here. Back out comes Skarmory. Skarmory looks for the Steel Wing farm down. Have it. Feraligatr holds strong, reaches the Hydro Cannon, and that is going to be all she wrote. Very well played game, Ty. Let's go. Even Ty's misses. Baby girl sending him Snapchats couldn't distract Ty from pulling off that magical dub in the next battle. We see Feraligatr into Mandibuzz. Not the best matchup for us as our Shadow Claws are going to be resisted. Ty again baits the Ice Beam. The opponent call the bait, but it looks like 2 Hydro Cannons pretty much knock out anyway. Ty throws a second Hydro Cannon on the CMP Ty. Hydro Cannon, oof, actually isn't enough to knock out. However, we can now shield this up, get the resisted, Shadow Claw farm down, and we should leave with a decent amount of residual energy good to go. The opponent now send out the Quagman Ty. Farms up, looks to throw on the CMP Ty to a potential Aqua Tail. Have the opponent smartly overfarm Ty, force a Protect Shield, then aggressively send out Bayleef, drawing out Public Enemy #1, that stupid, dumbass brick wall known as Bastiodon. Ty, if you lose this battle to this stupid Bastiodon player, I'm not only going to unfriend you in the game, I'm going to kick you out of the Shadow Hub Discord. As rule #1 of being in my Discord is never lose to Bastiodon. Ty baits with the Ancient Power. The opponent actually called the bait. However, this actually leaves Bastiodon in a perfect farm down range for Machamp. Stone Edge secures the knockout. Machamp going to delete this stupid brick wall in the blink of an eye. Quagsire still has 1 Protect Shield, too high behind, much like Ty. Ty looks to tank the first charge move. That Mud Bomb looked more like an Earthquake. Machamp didn't tank it all that well, but we did withstand the damage. Ty returns fire with the Cross Chop, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We see another beautiful combo play, and Ty is going to remain in the Discord. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow Crime. The fast move pressure is all with us as these Shadow Claws are going to tear through the squishy Shadow Gallade. However, Gallade hits like a truck. If Ty wants the full farm down, it's going to cost him both Protect Shields. We shield the first Leaf Blade, pivot out into Bayleef, catching Leaf Blade #2 and banking all of our energy. The opponent answers our Bayleef save switch with Mandibuzz, and this is where that rock type coverage is going to come in clutch. Ancient Power, not the best move, but is going to do some very solid chip damage. It's quite rare for a grass type. To have the ability to hit a flyer for super effective is quite a niche role that Bayleef has. Of course, there is a few others. You can run Smackdown on Chestnut, which is very funny into fire types. And of course, you can thunder something with Ferrothorn. However, we've got distracted, so returning to the commentary. Bayleef actually survived the Aerial Ace and forced the protection off Mandibuzz, which is absurd. Ty then sends back out Feraligatr, fires off the Hydro Cannon, looking to deny Mandibuzz's energy. Mandibuzz invests that Protect Shield. Mandibuzz is essentially a flying Umbreon. It hits like a wet noodle. Ty knows he survives any one move. He tanks the first. He opts to shield the second. The opponent is now energy dry. They send out Gallade. Gallade gets farmed down. The opponent now forced to reveal their third, which turns out to be Cresselia. And this is where having access to a super effective charge move is going to be very nice. Cresselia, very thick, but Crunch does over half their health. We get the defense drop, which is going to mean Hydro Cannon is going to secure the knockout. Get that Cresselia off my screen, and they can pivot out into Machamp, throw the cross chop, and take that game. Tai actually looking to flex. Shadow Machamp cannot tank a hit for shit. Aerial Ace from Mandibuzz is probably the one and only super effective charge move. We can tank. Tai goes for the flex, tanking the Aerial Ace, throwing the BM Rock Slide, and we take that game. Dreadful lead. Galvantula beats all three of our Pokemon. Tai throws one Shadow Claw, then transfers the Volt Switch onto Shadow Machamp. We shield up the obvious lunge bait, but Shadow Machamp probably would have been very close to being knocked out. Tai farms up to the Rock Slide, baits with the Cross Chop, forcing his Protect Shield back. Tai then able to throw the next Cross Chop on the CMP. Tai Cross Chop is resisted, but forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tai has somehow managed to get the opponent all shields down in a dreadful matchup. Galvantula can hit Bailey for super effective with the lunge, and of course super effective with the discharge on Feraligatr. Tai opts to send out his third, because Grass does resist electric, which means we are resisting the Volt Switches. Tai invests the Protect Shield up on the incoming lunge. Can we get the full Magical Leaf farm down? Tai banks a boatload of energy, then snipes with Feraligatr. Once again, not even taking a single Volt Switch. The opponent then send out Venusaur. It's so unfortunate we have no Ice Beam here, as Tai would have outpaced by one turn to it. The opponent makes a huge mistake, not over farming whatsoever, just throwing the Frenzy Plant as soon as they get it, which is going to allow Tai to come back in with Bayleaf. Over farm. I was going to say and throw the Ancient Power, which is what Tai did, but the opponent makes a catch it onto Unova Stunfisk. But this game is just over. They can quite literally throw whatever they like. We resist everything. The opponent throw the Mud Bomb. I think that actually healed Bayleaf. Tai farms up to 100 energy, throws the Energy Ball. We're going to undercharge, but even that is still going to knock out. We leave with the Ancient Power. It's going to be high Venusaur, by Venusaur, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see another Goodra. Is Tai going to look to fake the Ice Beam? This time we do look to fake the Ice Beam, but the opponent opts to throw an Aqua Tail. Bit of a strange play, to be honest, as Tai was never shielding that. Tai then heavily over farms, looks to fire off the Crunch. Crunch will come very close to knocking out. It doesn't quite knock out. We get the defense shot. We look to snipe with Bailey, drawing out Licky, far too thicky. However, Lickitung, we're also thick. So we're about to put your bulk to the test. Tai fires off the Energy Ball, getting Licky down below half health, and look at the Magical Leaf damage. Body Slam certainly won't be enough to knock out. That did like nothing. We might even just survive this as well. If we do survive, we've got the Ancient Power banked. Body Slam just knocks out. That must have been so close. Tai now sends out Machamp. Machamp gets a very nice counter farm down, and the opponent send out their own Feraligatr. Tai builds up a boatload of energy, looks to catch the Hydro Cannon onto his own Feraligatr. The opponent doesn't throw. However, our own Feraligatr does make a Hydro Cannon, forcing a Protect Shield back out. Comes Machamp. Tai is now doubled up on charge moves. This Cross Chop will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tai looks like he's CMP'd there. Is that CMP, or is the opponent able to catch? The opponent can't make a catch. This Cross Chop will be securing the knockout. We're going to be able to counter down Goodra and take that game. Shadow Machamp muscling its way through everything. In the next battle, we see Feraligatr into Wish Daddy Cash. A very nice matchup for us. The opponent attempts to catch a Hydro Cannon onto Dugong. Tai builds up a boatload of energy before sending out Machamp. Dugong doesn't hit particularly hard, so this is a charge move that Tai can tank. We tank the Icy Wind. Tai then returns fire with the Cross Chop. No debuff will be saving this Dugong from getting knocked out. The opponent chooses to invest a Protect Shield. They do get the full Ice Shard farm down, but at the cost of one Protect Shield. Tai then sends back out Feraligatr. Goes straight for the Crunch. Crunch secures the knockout. The opponent now sends back out Whiscash. Feraligatr with so much energy goes straight for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon goes unshielded. Tai still has two Protect Shields himself. Last second, we shield up the Mud Bomb. We then see the aggressive pivot into Bayleaf, looking for the snipe. The opponent shows cat-like reflexes, saving Whiscash and sending out Alolan Marowak. This is a matchup where that Rock-type coverage is going to come in clutch. Ancient Power lands for huge damage. The opponent looks for the full Fire Spin farm down, but Bayleaf refuses to die, reaches the second Ancient Power, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tai now finds himself in the bait game. We send out Gator. Tai with one Protect Shield too high behind, looks to call the bait. The opponent masturbate like an absolute potato, killing a poor defenseless cat in the process. Tai now going to shield up the next Bone Club. We're going to be able to Shadow Claw farm down. The opponent actually looked to pivot out into Whiscash, catching the charge move, but regardless, Marowak isn't going to reach another move, and Tai takes that game. Heading into the final battle of today's video, we see Feraligatr into Venusaur. Not fantastic. We save switch into Shadow Machamp, which also has a pretty dreadful matchup. Frenzy Plant would easily knock us out, so Tai does shield it up. The opponent then pivot out into Gallade. This is another matchup where Machamp isn't going to be all that advantageous, but Shadow Gallade cannot tank a hit for shit. The opponent shields the first cross chop. Machamp fires off cross chop number 2, and that lands for so much damage. The opponent recognises they're going to be unable to Psycho Cut, farm us down. Before we counter them down, it's forced to throw a Leaf Blade. Tai now sends out Bayleef. I believe this is only a Leaf Blade. Tai evidently agrees, instantly clicking no shield. We tank the Leaf Blade. We then look to pivot back out into Feraligatr, and we enter the Gator Mirror. Tai takes the initiative, going for his charge move first, fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tai going to put it all on Bayleef to clean up. Hydro Cannon isn't quite lethal. The opponent looks for the Shadow Claw farm down, but our Feraligatr again on a sliver of HP makes the last second charge of Hydro Cannon isn't quite lethal. We now send out Bayleef. Of course, we're just going to have to tank this move as a Sludge Bomb will do objectively more. The opponent fire off the departing Hydro Cannon. Tai looks to farm up to the double Ancient Power. One Ancient Power won't be enough to knock out, but the second will certainly get the job done. Venusaur throws a charge move. If they're doubled up, we're going to lose CMP and lose the game. The opponent doesn't have the second one. Bayleef is going to be able to clean up, and that is going to end today's showcase. Huge shout out to my good friend Tai, someone to call the king of entertainment, and after watching them battles, you can tell why. He not only provides some very fun content, he's got some very high gameplay IQ, landing multiple wham bam combo plays, which I love to shoutcast. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.